I actually fell out of a third-story window and crushed my spine and spent my first year of high school in a wheelchair. Charlie Hayes was my first business. Then I did pop-ups at the farm. COVID happened, and so I started that business off of all my extra flowers that I wasn't going to use for the Charlie Hayes. There definitely were some lows before the happy. Your own thought, your own instinct. Don't base all of your decisions on what everybody else is telling you.
Welcome back to Be Life Changers. I am Kathy Coates, your host, and we are here to share real stories from real people making a real difference in business, family, and our communities. Today, my guest is someone I admired for many years. We go way back in our early pop-up days when we were both setting up as vendors and learning firsthand the power of collaboration and competition. Taylor Jezik is a mom of two, event planner, a florist, an entrepreneur, a co-owner of Hometown Olathe Family Farm. Through multiple businesses, she's helping families create memories, supporting local small businesses, and shows her children what entrepreneurship looks like in real life. And most of all, she's an amazing friend. Today, we're talking about motherhood, business, community, collaboration, creating experiences that matter, and why supporting local isn't just good business. It's building a legacy. Taylor, welcome to Be Life Changers.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. I've been wanting to bring you, considering we did have our, my party at your place.
Yeah.
When Be Life Changers was there, we did our launch party at Hometown Olathe Family Farm. It's a gorgeous place. If you've not been there, you definitely have to get out there. We did do that, and JT Visuals was there. So what did you think when you actually came into the studio today?
Oh, I was so surprised. It's so fancy. Everything's so nice. It's beautiful.
Right.
Honestly, beautiful.
Awesome.
And I've watched the videos, I've watched the content, and it's so well put together. It's very professional.
Well, thank you. Thanks. That's for that team right over there.
I love it.
I love Jared and the team. They are amazing. They're like my family. We all are in it together. And that's kind of like how we are, coming together. It's all about collaboration. I think so many times people think they're in competition.
100%.
And really, when we come together, we rise together.
Yeah, absolutely. Community over competition every single time.
Every single time. So I'm so glad that you're here.
Me too.
You finally get to see it in action.
I was like, I'm going to set time aside to start like venturing and doing all of the networking that I need to be doing. And so you were my first stop.
Yes. I feel
yes.
That is
thank you.
a pleasure. Yeah. So I know I've been there with you through it all, and you have been really pushing hard.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot. And I know phone calls I've called, and you've been in the basement, like I'm in the basement. I can't leave.
Yeah, I'm packing 500 orders or whatever I'm doing down there. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. But I mean, it's amazing for us as friends just to see each other and like see where we were to where we are now.
All the progress.
All the progress.
Absolutely.
It's so awesome. But I know a lot of people don't know you, and so I want them to get to know you today.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your family. Do you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Like, how did that all come about?
Yeah, I guess. So I'm raised in a family of entrepreneurs. I've definitely had jobs in my life. I've worked lots of different places. But really, it was definitely a passion. So I knew it was going to be the way. I just didn't know I was going to acquire so many different businesses. That I didn't know. So
I think that comes sometimes, like when you truly have an entrepreneurial spirit, it's like, well, I see this, and then it goes into that. Next thing you know, you're like, why do I have 3 things going on
absolutely.
right now?
Yeah. Well, and with it, a lot of them kind of like steamroll into the other one, and it's kind of like a new avenue or whatever path of the same business, kind of,
Yeah, they do. A lot of times they do. I know mine do. They connect a lot. And then that shift and pivot sometimes is really hard because you're wondering how they're going to connect. So tell us just a little bit about which business came first,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So Charlie Hayes was my first business.
Okay.
I started that originally while I was pregnant with my son, my first, and that slowly that business also evolved and expanded. It started off as like homemade hair bows and bibs and baby mobiles because that was what, I was in deep with being pregnant. And then it turned into more of a spiritual business later on. With that being like a product I was making, I then started doing the vendor events. And then as that went on, I was like, this would be a great thing that I could do at the farm. So then I did pop-ups at the farm, and that became its own separate business.
Okay.
With all of the pop-ups, that's where we met. So that would have been that time frame of my life. And then fast forward, I don't even know how many years from there, COVID happened. And with the flower shortages, I started to have to order overseas and order larger quantities for the Charlie Hayes business.
Okay.
And I would have extra left over. And it was kind of a dark time for everybody. So I started that business off of all my extra flowers that I wasn't going to use for the Charlie Hayes. I would make arrangements and we would porch drop them through the day because what else did we have to do? We couldn't go anywhere. So we did little flower arrangements for everybody through the community. And that's where that business started.
Oh, wow. Well, there's nothing like getting flowers. I mean, it just brightens your day.
It was such a fun time. I think back and I'm like, the kids and I drove around and delivered to all of our, friends' porches and their friends' porches. And it just, I don't know. Now I would not want to spend 8 hours in a car driving. I've got too many things to do. But that seemed like such a crazy time of like simple, I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
Right. And so TJ Events is your pop-up.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So TJ Events is the pop-up, and that's how we met.
Yes.
I know I had started in 2016 and was KC Women's Events at the time.
Yep.
And so I had been doing them all over Kansas and Missouri and castles, mansions, golf clubs, wineries, and fun event venues.
Yep.
And that's how I found your guys' venue.
Yep.
And then we came across and started collaborating.
Yeah. So really, as far as I can remember, as far as the events go, you were always there. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't definitively say what event or what time you were were present for. But as long as I think about the events in the past, I'm like, Kathy was that,
Yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah.
But it makes it so much easier,
Yeah.
when you like cross promote.
Absolutely.
I mean, because that's how you really get a crowd. And I think,
absolutely.
I think that's important to bring out because I know recently there's been a lot, and there's a lot of things going on right now. And I see both sides. I see us as the coordinator side, and I see a vendor as a vendor side because we both have been vendors.
Exactly.
Like,
yes, 100%.
You were selling your items. I used to sell baked goods a long time ago. I used to make tons of banana breads and all that kind of stuff. Well, I know,
because you brought it to the winery before.
Yes, So that's how it all started. And so I know when it comes to the cost of the booth and everything, but there's just been a lot of and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
I think when a vendor can really come to their coordinator and talk to them and work out things.
Yeah.
And I also feel that coordinators working together like we have done really does help because it helps one with communication.
Yeah.
And also I believe it helps with that cross-promoting to make sure that, your vendors have other places to go so they can make more money.
Yeah.
And then not only that, then we don't choose the same day because that helps.
Yes, that is a huge thing. And I've tried to reach out to a couple others and I'm like, let's all coordinate. And not everybody is receptive of that collaboration concept.
Right.
But aside from like the community over competition and collaboration, aside from like the benefits for the vendors or the benefits, there's also the benefit in like the education of life or the education of business or even the education of vendor events. I mean, you don't know everything. You're never going to know everything. And every single experience you have or you share with somebody, you learn so much from. I mean, I think that's probably one of the greatest things between within collaboration.
When you're like able to set our pride aside.
100%. Yeah.
And
And you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No.
So,
No.
I always there's always somebody else around that you can learn something from.
Most definitely. That circle that you're in, that room, is always choosing what room you're in. And that's what I always talk to about. I've done a lot of education for vendors now that I'm not putting on the pop-up event.
Right.
I'm there, as a mentor for the ladies that are doing it. They can use my audience. That's how I've done that. I've shared the audience. So now all those blood, sweat, and tears years of getting 6,000 vendors in a group and building a reach of where I reached 20,000 people, it's really been hard. And I don't want a newer coordinator to experience that.
Yeah.
So they can come under me and learn, or not really so much learn, but just have that audience
well, and they're
right
adding
away.
to it as well, So
Right, exactly.
it's keeping it active and all of that. So absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So that my community that built has shows to come to and businesses to shop with because that's what they want to do.
Yep. I love it.
So tell us a story. Tell me a little bit more about what goes on at Hometown Olathe Family Farm.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of like what doesn't go on there at this point.
Exactly, that's what I would say.
We want to keep it as inclusive and family-friendly as possible. That's huge for me because when I first started the events in the event world, being a vendor, there were a lot of wineries or venues where it was 21 plus. And so that was one thing that I wanted to bring to this venue is that it was family oriented. So what else are we doing there? We're doing every kind of event you can imagine. We've got, pool parties. We've got, kid activities during the day, and we keep those free to the community because my goal is, yes, obviously as a business owner, you want to generate revenue because you want to turn into the green. But a big passion of mine is giving back to the community. And that's how we maintain it. So we've got a full food menu now, and I'm still working on it every week. We kind of launch a few new items on it to give everybody time to learn it in-house. And yeah, I'm just excited for what the future looks like.
So much because I remember when you first started tweaking and moving things around a little bit to do more of that family oriented, so it could be for families. And I come out and tried the drinks. Yeah. And there's like so many different drinks. And really I was like, and I just loved it because even the kids get a little drink with the little is so, and it's so you because they're so pretty. They have all the, decor on the cup, and you feel like you feel special going in there.
I wanted it to be a place that, when you go, everything, I like everything to be a celebration. So I want to make every little thing in my life feel like a celebration. And so when you go to a restaurant or you go to a concert, you want your cup and, to look aesthetic. You want your plating to be aesthetic. You want to be able to take photos with your family. So we have plenty of spots and all of that for that. Because like I said, I want everything to feel like a celebration, even if it's just going to a free kids chalk day. There is a way to make that a thing that you can post on social media and share with your grandma, that might live in another state or however, whatever.
Well, it's an experience. And those kids don't forget those experiences. You know what I mean? At all. I mean, they're going to remember that. And you do that very well for your family, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah. But you're doing that for more than just your family, just your kids. You're doing that for all kids. And that there is a joy in that, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure to 100%. See all the kids smiling, to see the families smiling. And I mean, to watch it grow from the beginning with just the pretty drinks, and now you have the food. And there's I got my tomato, girl, I got my tomato plants, guys.
How are they doing?
Yes. Oh, I should have popped the picture up. I'm not going to take my phone. But literally, they came out and they were like these little things. And I don't grow things, guys. My mom has always had a green thumb, and I don't. And I'm like, but then now they have these apps on the phone that you can take a picture. Yeah. And then it tells you if your plant is healthy or not, and what is going on with it and what it needs. Oh my gosh. And so So I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it got into me this year. I really wanted to start with an herb garden, but for some reason I came out to the farm.
And tomato it was.
It was for the Mother's Day weekend, and it was buy one, get one free.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
So I was like, well, if I kill $9 worth of plants, it's not that bad. So I took it, and then I get home, and I'm like, oh, you're supposed to have one of them cone things.
So that's so good. Did you get a cone thing?
No, I went to the Dollar Tree, and I got this thing that you let plants go up. So because I didn't figure out later it was a dome. I was like, it was too late now. It's growing up that vine. So I hope it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
But it is. But it's like massively tall now. And so I can't wait. And the little buds are coming out. So
Do you have it? Did you put it in a different pot?
Yes.
Or is it in the ground?
Yeah, no, it's a pot. It's a big pot. Okay. I did put it in the pot. I'm not a ground girl. I like, if I do everything is elevated, I'm like, I don't want to be down on, that's just not me. I love pots though. And so I did all the herbs and
aesthetic.
Pots. Yeah. You said the pretty aesthetics. Like I like the hanging plants and but yeah, so I did, guys. Go, and the tomatoes are growing, so they're good tomatoes.
I love that. Yeah, we have a plant nursery. I forgot about that part.
The nursery.
Literally, what don't we do there?
No, exactly. That's what it is. And now you have different areas for people to experience sitting together. I just love it. Everything is just amazing.
Thank you.
So I do. So congratulations,
Thank
really,
you.
because that's hard. You have been pushing super, super hard. Hometown Olathe Family Farm exists to create moments where community comes together, families make memories, and small businesses have opportunities to grow. If I was to wrap it all up,
I love it.
That's exactly what I'd say about it.
That aligns. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for doing that for us. Because literally, I go out there sometimes and work, because it's quiet, and I'm able to find just a solace place.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, the aesthetics are so pretty, so I can just sit there, and it really does help me. Calm down and relax, from all the things. So
I love that.
So now let's talk about one thing I love about you is that you're involved with your children in your business, because we're both alike like that. It's all about our kids. And so I want to talk about raising entrepreneurial kids for a little bit, because seeing our kids at a young age and being able to find their gifts, talents, and abilities, it really does help them, and it helps them to grow. And so why is that important to you?
So I can tell you how it's came to be in my family. Okay. So Charlie had a lawn mowing business.
Okay.
All right. And he had this push mower. He had a couple lawns. He would get $40 a lawn. Halfway through that summer, he's like, no, thank you. This is too much for me. He was 9, okay? 9 years old. That was a lot for him, but he wanted it. So he took these jobs on, and he agreed to these people that he would mow for the summer. So halfway through it, he's like, oh, no, I can't do this. And I'm like, well, you have to finish your commitment. Right. But then after that, you never have to do this again. And so what we learned from that experience is that he doesn't want a lawn business, right? Okay, but aside from that, he also learned commitment, keeping his word.
Right.
And there's a different pressure when it's your own business. It's different than just showing up to a job and performing at whatever level they want you to perform at. There is a whole different level, because this person, if you don't show up to mow their lawn, who's going to mow it? They're going to have to mow it. And that'll make somebody not super happy.
Right.
So what he learned from that experience and what I learned from that experience were all the things that I just listed. And, with my daughter, she's got a slime business. And so she has to ship on time. She has to respond to the messages or tell me to respond to the messages. And if I don't print the label for the day, she has to tell me at night, Mom, we've got to go print that label because that order, when is that order due? So you're instilling values into your children that they wouldn't have learned anywhere else. Nowhere else. And it's fun.
It is fun because you get to do it together. I remember, because of course my kids are, grown.
Yep.
But they're all entrepreneurial spirits.
Yeah.
And even my shy one, the oldest one, he's like getting into the trading cards.
Okay.
Yeah. So so he does his own thing. So
buying and selling.
Yeah,
that's literally
that
the flip.
Yeah, exactly. Buying and selling. so even, my older ones, which I always say because I was really young when I had kids. I got married at a very young age.
Okay.
I was married by the time I was 20, and then I had my first baby by the time I was turning 21.
Yep.
And so I was a little timid and didn't know who I was then.
Oh, 100%.
But when I had my, fourth and fifth, which was Hezekiah or Genesis and Hezekiah, I was more I knew what I was doing. I was working in the gym. I had my own business going. I had ran a daycare, all those things.
Yeah.
So I was more confident, and you can see that in them. Even to this day, they're the ones that are, big entrepreneurial, doing stuff and flipping things. And, it's amazing to see that. But they watch us. And so you doing that for them is just setting them up for success.
It's that, and it's also letting them know that this is an option.
Yes.
If you don't experience something, I think back and I'm like, you had teachers tell you can be whatever you want to be if you really know that. Like, know what you are surrounded by. And so with my children trying and dabbling and doing all these things and me doing so many different businesses, they've learned that they can literally do anything through that, you know? And so that's also important, I feel.
And to understand that, if you're really wanting something, you can go get it. Like, and if you're not happy where you're at, you can change.
Yeah.
And I think that is with us having several businesses, they realize, okay, well, I guess it's okay not to do the same thing all our life. Well, and the evolution
of my Charlie Hayes business, it actually changed. Like, I rebranded at one point in my life. And so my son knows that, like he remembers the hair bows because he was my very first model. I used his little toes for these barefoot sandals that I made,
funny.
and that's not what I sell anymore.
Right.
So that's not what I make anymore.
Right. And it's fun to watch it as it evolves.
Yeah.
And all the things we've learned.
All the passions.
Yeah, all the passions that we've learned. And then sometimes wondering, well, what purpose was that? And then later you're like, oh, wow, now I see how that ties together, because when I did switch from I had built a group with 6,000 vendors in it. And, having a whole entire platform that is community-based, I can't just walk away from that. But with Gabriel coming home with his special needs being deaf and autistic, I now had to shift gears.
Right.
I couldn't do 9 events a month. And I'm sure you've seen that from baby to now they're teenagers. There's different shifts.
Yeah.
And you shift well. I want to say that. You shift very well because I know you've noticed that my kids are getting a little bit older. Teens are growing very fast. And so I've seen you make sure that you've gotten things taken care of and letting go and letting other people start to do things so that you can spend time with them.
That was huge.
Yes.
It's always the goal. With the Charlie Hayes business, it was harder for me to relinquish some of the control. Every other business, I've got zero issues relinquishing.
It's bye.
That one is kind of like my artistic, business that is also like a passion project. But all the other ones, I mean, not that they're not passion projects, right? But it was a lot easier for me to relinquish that. And I think age definitely helped as well. And you're right. Going back to being able to spend as much time with the kids and doing all the cool things was a factor into all of that as well.
Right. Which brings me to say the new things that we're doing, the social media trends. And, your kids are coming into that age. And I love seeing the shift now of you guys doing some content together and going out and trying, ice cream places and things like that. With Gabriel, I do the same thing. I didn't really realize, he's deaf and autistic. And I didn't realize, there for a while, I was always like, well, okay, I'm going to have to hurry and get things done so we could do something in the afternoon. And I was getting super frustrated. And I'm sure you felt this in your journey as well, because they're sitting over there, they're bored to death. And what do? They get into things at a certain age. Well, since he's about a 7-year-old, he gets into things. He starts okay, you're not going to pay attention to me. I'm going to go.
Right.
You're going to come in here.
I'm going to go get curious over here.
Yeah, I'm going to get curious over here. I'm going to go start eating everything. And then I know you're going to come here. Well, I was getting nothing done.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I am a content creator as it is. I'm out here telling people about businesses already. I'm sharing about nonprofits already. I'm making sure the businesses are getting seen, known, and remembered. Why can't he do it with me?
Yes.
But then I thought, well, maybe he wouldn't like it. But then I tried it, and I was so surprised to see how he's a little ham.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I saw that. I know.
like,
I'm like, you got to lean into that
and
because it's perfect.
Yes, and
It's
it is. So
perfect.
now I don't have to be frustrated during the day. We just
Yes.
go check, like, we're getting ready to go do an ice cream run.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea.
Yep.
But it was Taylor's idea. but actually, he was the one doing the ice cream. She's like, Kathy, just do a whole series of
I
ice
love
cream.
it. I
So
love
so
it.
we're gonna do it. So I've been noticing some trends with the kids. Tell me how did you start that? Did they start that? How did that all happen?
So it starts off with, going to the locations and trying all the foods and stuff like that. My daughter will find the trends right now. And actually, it's funny because she also likes to go play and venture and do all the things during the day in the neighborhood. So if my son is there, I will scroll the trends that she sent me and I will do one with him. And she's not super happy with it.
Uh-oh.
She's like, you were supposed to do that with me. I'm like, you were here, girlfriend, And so there's that. But so they're her trends. They're definitely her trends.
Okay, we're giving you the shout out, baby girl. They are your trends. Now I'm going to have you start searching trends for me and Gabriel. And like, there you go. You be the trendsetter.
So, no, I love it. And it's been fun because my oldest, he'll laugh. He'll laugh. He'll think this is silly, like I'm going to get made fun of or whatever. But he's like, add me as a collaborator on that. And I'm like, oh, you want that collaboration?
Oh, you want that one, huh?
Yeah.
Not on the other one, but this one.
So, I know he actually loves it. Also, I think having that time, because when we're doing it, I'm rolling. Like, I'm like crying in tears because you mess up more times than you get it right,
That's the fun part.
Exactly.
That's what everybody loves. Everybody loves to know that they're not the only one to make a mistake. I think
agree.
that I love the new trend. In business always everything had to be the same color. You had to look a certain way. To me, I'm like, that's fake. I mean, that's not what it is. And I love now that the trends are, let's be real.
Authenticity. Yes, it is definitely in right now. And I love it. And I think it's because people got so tired being performative. They're worn out. We're worn out by everything around us, know? And so authenticity was the only way we could go, know?
Right, yeah,
So
right, exactly. And it's real, and people can relate to that. What are you seeing change in the event industry right now?
No, it's funny. I was just talking to Tommy about this the other day. So marketing. Marketing is a huge thing that I see changing in the event world. And I honestly told him that maybe we need to go back to flyers. Do you remember when that was like the way to advertise?
Yes, yeah.
So anyways, I think that we're in a place in time where we're about to have an entire shift. I think everything's changing right now. Do I know exactly where it's going or what? I don't. But I do think that we are gearing away from the performative and we're honing in on, like we said earlier, the authenticity. And I think that is in real time also in the event world as well.
And I feel like people, it's not just about like the old way we used to do pop-up shopping. Like, we had shopping, pampering, prizes,
Yeah.
People are wanting more of an experience now.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why the farm is so important because you're able to do those things.
Yeah.
Like with the fashion show, that was amazing,
Thank you.
right
Yes.
on the end of it. People come to do that, but during the day they could come, shop for plants or, do the other things. And then there was shopping and
there was so much. And you're right. It is about the experience. And it's also, we're going back towards community. I think we're circling back and finding community. And within that, you need an experience, with the community. So with your family, your friends, all the people you care about. And so what's better than to go do something with those people you care about?
But you're right. I think the shift is going back to that, word of mouth, because I'm seeing that working way more than like the ads that we used to run.
Well, and that circles back to what we talked about earlier about doing like the micro influencer, going places and doing that. That circles back to the word of mouth, because what I have found to be the most effective within our business is partnering with micro influencers.
Right.
Because they have built their following off of people that trust them. They're not somebody who's getting a big brand deal saying that these shoes are so good because they got paid a ton of money.
Right.
They're over here. I went to this place. I actually ate the food here and I had a quality experience here.
Right.
And so, circling back to that. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're going to have a little bit of fun before we close things out
Okay.
today. I've kind of started playing with a little something.
Okay.
So you're going to be my first person I'm playing this with.
Okay.
Since she's such a good friend, we're going to play and see how
Okay.
this happens. But it's going to be called the rapid fire round.
Oh, gosh.
Do.
Okay.
She's like, yay, Kathy.
Yeah.
So would you prefer coffee or tea?
Tea.
Awesome. So what's your favorite tea?
I guess matcha
Oh,
or
me
chai.
too. Me
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, it depends. Is it summer or is it winter?
Oh, that's a good one.
But I guess
Mhm.
morning. I'm a morning person.
Are you? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, summertime, I'm a night person. I'll
Mhm.
work all night long, but I do love the peace and quiet of the morning. I feel like
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
like a good zen,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
productivity is probably the evening. So, but still, I'd lean towards morning. So,
Awesome. So you are the rooster. I'll still be asleep. Call me later. No,
I
it's
mean,
okay.
summertime,
No,
I
yes,
have
yes.
been. So,
I think I truly am a morning person, but with Gabriel being up and down all night, I've ended up, I've always been a night owl. But I always am both, actually.
that's where
it's
I'm
so
at.
super weird.
Way back when my babies were little,
Mhm.
I was a night owl. I'd
Mhm.
work all night long.
Right.
But now, I've got practices. I've got,
Mhm.
the team that messages me at like 4 a.m. and I've got to like have an answer for them. So
Yep.
I mean, both is very, very fair and real. So,
It's like both. I don't
I
get
just
it.
need to exist 24/7.
People make the joke. When do you sleep, Kathy?
Literally, never.
Never.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the true.
Yeah.
We never sleep.
I know.
All right. Favorite family activity?
So when my back isn't where my back is right now, I would say pickleball. My kids,
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, Aria loves it. We're not very good at it, but it's fun. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
So,
Aria was still going to teach me how to play, so we got to go.
Yep.
Okay. Biggest mom win?
I don't know what all I can say on here, but my biggest mom win is when Aria goes to school and preaches to her classmates about like equality. It's a big one for me.
I love it.
So
Yes.
it's huge for me.
Yeah.
I think that's a big mom win for
Well,
me.
yeah. Well, seeing your kids stand for what's right.
Yep.
I think
And
that's
we
big.
live in a smaller town, and I would say that that's not necessarily the narrative that's out there. But she is loud and she is proud, so I love it. And her
That's
teachers love her
great.
for it. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well, it helps because so many kids. I mean, I wouldn't want to be kids, but I remember getting bullied way back. Like I told on one episode, I went through a year where I remember when I first got baptized, and all the kids called me a Jesus freak. I get on the bus and everybody screaming Jesus freak, and
and that's on
just
trend right now, so that's
bully.
crazy.
It's like bully. I mean, but it's weird how trends go, though. I mean, it's
In and
always
out.
something, whatever is going
yeah.
on. One thing's in and one thing's not.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, there's always somebody who suffers. Why does it have to be that way?
Right.
Why does somebody have to have their feelings hurt or feel bad or feel bad about themselves? Yes, there is sadness, and there has to be.
Yes.
There is a time that you may feel not bullied, but like there is time to have that emotion.
Well, without sadness, there's no happiness.
Yeah,
So no, I
exactly.
get what you're saying.
But at the same time, we shouldn't be bullying people to where they feel bad about
What
themselves.
I've tried to explain to Aria and Charlie is that it's typically a projection, or it's something that's being passed down in their household.
Right.
So it's learned behavior,
Yes.
ultimately.
And I think it is important to teach our kids that a lot of times if we just put ourselves in the other person's shoes, we'll see where
Empathy.
they're coming from. That true empathy. Because you're right. They could be having problems go on at home. They could be jealous. All those things are real emotions that we have to learn about. And if we teach our kids that, then they can call it out in a good way. And then people can learn.
Yeah.
From
An
each other.
educational
An
experience.
educational experience.
100%. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we got just a couple
Yes,
more.
I know.
All right. Best business advice you've ever received?
It would have been years and years ago. It was before I was confident in my own decision making, and I received the advice or an epiphany, where it was, basically you follow your own thought, your own instinct, your own. It's not to say that you're not receptive from outside opinions,
Right.
but don't base all of your decisions on what everybody else is telling you. Base it off of what aligns like for you in your heart.
Right.
So.
Knowing what your God-given gift is, girl, and go for it. You
Yes.
know,
Yep.
making that plan and making it go.
I love it.
One word that describes your season of life right now.
I would say I'm like in a calm state. I'm in a peace state.
I love that.
And I do too. I'm happy.
I can see it.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
You know, like
I can see that.
everything is just good. You know,
Right.
my children and I have a great relationship. I'm just happy. So
Yeah, you can see that. But you pushed really hard to get there. So.
yeah. There definitely were some lows before the happy.
What is one thing that we don't know about you?
Okay, funny, not funny. But I actually fell out of a third-story window and crushed my spine and spent my first year of high school in a wheelchair. So you have to learn a school your first year. That's scary. That's nerve-wracking. And I had to do it while being injured. And so that's not something everybody knows about me. So yeah.
Gosh, woo, no wonder. See?
Yeah,
but you know,
the perseverance, you know?
Perseverance. I was going to say that very thing. And a lot of times, you know, we hate some of the experiences we go through, but some of those worst experiences is what makes us who we are today.
Yeah.
And I think that's where to remember that this too shall pass. That's one of my favorites.
Yes, I do too.
This too shall pass.
Yep.
Well, Taylor, thank you for sharing your story with us today. I think what stands out most is that you're not just building businesses, you're building experiences, opportunities, and memories that will impact families and our community for years to come. Whether it's through TJ Events, Aria Anneliese, Wedding Flowers, or Hometown Olathe Family Farm, you're proving that success isn't just measured by what we build for ourselves, but by the opportunities we create for others.
I love it.
Friends, if today's episode inspired you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Be Life Changers. And tell us, how do they subscribe to you, Taylor?
If you look up hometown.olathe.family.farm, you'll find us.
Awesome. And what is the address?
It's in Olathe, Kansas.
Okay.
It's 1100 South Woodland Street, Olathe, Kansas.
Awesome. So you got to make sure to go out there. Until next time, remember to align your purpose with a plan and keep being the change that you want in this world. We'll see you on the next episode of Be Life Changers.